Hello, everybody, and welcome to an impromptu booze chatter. Now, tonight I thought I'd go live because, well, I'm a little bored. The reason for this is partially because I'm bored, partially because, well, I kind of want to mention a few things, kind of want to say a couple of things, and I just want to go and gently shoot the shit tonight. First of all, no beer in hand, so I guess I'm going to have to remedy that right now. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by McKellar. Now, if you remember correctly, McKellar and I have not been on good terms. We've been on okay terms, but we have not been on good terms. I bought this a while ago before I found the Geek Brunch Weasel, and I kind of held it in my cellar for a bit, and it's been in my fridge for the past couple of months. Now, the Geek Brunch Weasel actually was pretty good. It actually changed my mind about them. So I thought I'd bring out this one just to see if it's still maintaining its decency with me. See if we still have a actual like relationship between McKellar and myself. So tonight I've got the McKellar beer. Wow, I am really learning how to speak this morning, this afternoon, and this evening, depending on where you live. I have the McKellar Beer Week Brunch Weasel. It's a session oatmeal stout brewed with coffee. Now, as I've said, I've had the strong one. This one's the weak one. This one comes in at 4.8% alcohol by volume, and it's been around for a bit. So let's pop her open and see if it's any good. Now, from the bottle cap, it does say that it is good until sometime. Oh, crap. That might be February 4th, 2016, or it might be April 2nd, 2016. Let's hope it's April. Either or, it's 2016, so we're still okay, and we're still within the margin of both February and April, I guess. So as you see, pours dark, nice tan head to it, and it actually looks half decent. It's got that smell. A stout smell, but it's like a lighter stout. Doesn't smell strong. Has kind of a sweet smell to it too. Either or, it's kind of making me drool a little bit. Yeah, so I say we give this a shot and find out how it is, shall we? So for everyone out there, cheers. Let's see how it is. Watery. Not something I expect to taste out of a McKellar beer. Coffee on the back. Wow, that coffee starts to come through after everything's gone through. But it's watery. A little bit of burnt malts. And then the coffee flavor stays with you on your tongue. Now, hopefully that's not because of the stout I had earlier tonight, which was, wow, it was good. It was really good. I've got a write-up I got to do about it after all this. Yeah, not bad. I actually like this one. It's going to be a nice down drink from all the stuff I've been having tonight. They've been 10% beers, and they've been solid, really solid beers. Might be why I can't really speak fluently tonight. So on the agenda is just one thing plus a couple of other items. But the one thing I wanted to address was yesterday I watched, well, I guess I more listened to a podcast from someone who I actually gained a lot of appreciation for. Now, this person has no idea what he's done for me. He was one of the people that came aboard on Channel Awesome a few years back, and I actually started listening to his stuff. off and on, and really got to appreciate who he was. I found him personally as a stand-up person, someone who really knows and really is very appreciative of his fans, and actually didn't have a lot of bullshit. He was a straightforward person. He wanted to be a shock jock, is what he called himself. I can see why, because he created controversy like nobody's business. On Facebook, on his podcast, on everywhere else, he created all this controversy. Things have happened to him within Channel Awesome that I can't explain because I wasn't there for it, and they went their separate ways. So he went on his own stuff. He's a gamer at heart. He had this great series called Until We Win, and I hopefully, if he ever finds time, does one or two in a little bit of time, a year or so or whatever. They've been great series because there's one thing you have a tagline. You learn to do a tagline every now and then. His tagline was, "You will die a lot." And with his Eastern accent, because I'm not from the East, I can call it an Eastern accent. It grew on me. He actually grew on me as an entertainer, as a YouTube artist. And I was in the middle of my transition of, do I really want to do something different? Because I've gone through hell and back, and I just want a distraction. And what I want is, I want a distraction where people get to know me and people get to see me and I get to do stuff. And I was scared. I was honestly scared to go out and do something like what I'm doing now, because of the fact that I absolutely hated negative input. Like, you suck, you're pathetic, you're this, you're that, you're the other thing. And having him come out and just seeing his persona was something that sort of went, you know what? I like where he's going with this. He has a no bullshit attitude, and I like it. I like who he is, and he feels genuine in his own sense. And I think it's kind of what I need to get myself over of my fear. Excuse me. Now, he and a few other people that I watched helped me get to where I was, or where I am today. And there was a few of them, different personas, different people, but at the same point in time, I watched them going, you know, I can do this. I can put myself out there. I absolutely hate going on YouTube because of the fact that, well, there's people out there that say you suck, you do this, and I read all these comments and they're trolling the shit out of these videos. And it put a lot of fear into me. But I actually got onto the other channel, which has dropped now, the other video channel, which has now lost, and they dropped me a while ago, and that pissed me off. But at the same point in time, I was getting my groove going. Like, I went from different things, from basically being a music reviewer. I was going to do a movie review, but that dropped really quickly because I hated to do the editing. Doing a music reviewer where I did my own thing, where it was pretty much two different, it's the same songs done by two different artists, and which one was which. And then from there, I jumped up into something else, which is now Booze Reviews. Now, with what I had, this guy was one of the people that helped me get to where I am. He goes by the handle of LordKat. People also know him as Jason. And last night, he did a podcast which seemed very, very sincere. Being a shock artist or a shock jock, it's hard. There's people out there that don't know if it's sincere or not. I still have my reservations about it, but I genuinely feel it is sincere. I genuinely feel that what I heard last night was him pretty much not wanting to do what he wanted to do anymore. And I totally understood that. I listened intently for the half an hour that he spoke, and he had his friends there. They opened up a beer and they sat there, and here's the beer I'm drinking and whatnot. And then afterwards he goes, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. And he apologized to people for things and shit he said. And that gave me a brand new respect for him. absolutely brand new respect. I already had respect for him. There's some stuff that kind of went, whoa, hold on a second here. But there's people out there that do that. For example, Johnny Old School did a couple of those, and we hold on, but at the same point in time, that's your opinion. Okay, fine, your opinion, that's fine. But he had the same sort of thing. Like, he's done his Until We Wins. He's done his Turducken is Tasty, which is an NFL series. He's done his live podcast where he talks about a lot of stuff, and he goes on rants and raves at times, and he calls people out, but he doesn't want to do that anymore. And I understand that. So for me, I actually want to turn around and say thank you. I've said thank you on his Facebook. I've said thank you on his YouTube page, but I personally want to go on video and say thank you. Because of him, I'm where I'm at today. He's one of the people that got me where I can feel comfortable doing this, not worrying about the shit around me, because yeah, this place is a fucking mess. I'm sorry. And just reviewing, saying what I feel, say what I want about the items that I review, because of the fact that I actually enjoy doing it. He's one of the guys that got me to where I am today. There's a few people out there, and seeing him say he's done, I'm sorry to see you go. But I understand to see why you had to leave. I understand why you had to go. And good on you for doing what you did last night. Congratulations, but not congratulations. Sorry. But at the same point in time, cheers. Cheers for helping me. And here's to seeing if you need any help with anything, reach out. You don't know me from a fucking hole in the ground. I totally understand that. But if you want, reach out. I'm here. You know me on Facebook. You know me on, well, you now know me on here, I guess. But, you know, if you ever want to, I'm here. So, LordKat, this beer's for you, my friend. And that's too bad to just guzzle. Forget it. However, that was a good downer. So, beer news. We're going to go on to beer news. The other day I was in one of my favorite places. I was in Craft Cellars, and I actually found another thing from the Craft Beer Imports of Canada. They have this leap year package, and I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's Sound Brewing, but I don't think that's it. They have this 2-pack where you can have you have the same beers, but you have one for 2016, and you can open one 4 years later in 2020 for the leap year. Great idea. Awesome idea. $40 for a 2-pack of Bombers. Excuse me again. I understand these are probably out of the States, if I remember correctly. $40 for 2 beers, $20 a piece, because you can have one and save one for later. Because of the NDP taxes, because of everything else, $40 is a lot. That, and I never heard or saw anything, absolutely anything about what they were doing with this leap year pack until I was actually in Craft Cellars. I went, oh, they've got a new one? And yeah, Steve, the beer guy there, sat there and goes, yep, we've got one from them again, and it's a leap year pack, and it's 2 beers. I looked at the price, went, oh crap, there's no way I'm buying that. I'm really getting sick and tired of these beer prices. I really, really am. It's just getting expensive out there. And I hate it. I want all these beers that are great, that are from the States, that are out of the 3 zones of BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. I'm really getting tired of these expensive beers because you know what? You have a simple 6-pack of shitty beer. They're making more money because it's shitty beer, but it's cheaper. For example, Boxer is making a killing out of here. They're making a killing down in the States because it's cheap beer, but it's made cheaply. But it's still cheap beer. If the prices came down a little bit, I can understand more people buying beer. You have to look at our economy in Alberta right now. We're screwed, absolutely screwed right now, because of the fact that there's so much, and I keep going on about these prices, but because there's so much going on about this beer, and it's just the prices and everything suck. But seriously, 40 bucks for 2 beers, that's getting a little bit extreme. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that. I'm also disappointed in the fact that they didn't advertise this enough. These guys, they're a great company to be part of. I understand that there's a lot of things out there. There's been some political stuff in there too that maybe go really, but they do some great things. These are the guys that do the craft beer advent calendar. And I enjoy it each year because it is completely different than what you find anywhere else. They have these different beers. They bring in some new ones. They have some ones that are specially made for the advent calendar. And it's actually a lot of fun to open. You've seen my 3 years of it. It's been pretty good. It's just been this lack of advertising is just, it kills you. It really does, because you're bringing out this product. It's a good idea. Leap year beer, great idea. 40 bucks, not so great. Not hearing about it until seeing it inside the store. It's hard to advertise, understandable. But at the same point in time, it's just, you got to do something. You got to put your name out there. It's like having all these beers come in from BC and everywhere else. A lot of them let like the word of mouth get through. I didn't even see any of my contacts say anything about this beer, the leap year beer. Nothing, absolutely nothing until I saw it. Even the Valentine's Day beer squeaked by, and I don't know if anyone really saw it or bought it. And it had 2 really good beers in there. One of them was Duclaw, and it was one that I have not seen on the shelves here. And another one is pretty much, it was the Peak Organic, and Peak Organic is amazing. I have not really had a very good organic experience until I had Peak Organic, and then everything started expanding out. Really good beers, but probably up there in the $40 range again for these bombers, because they're out of the States, which brings us to how bad it could be. It's one of those things that I think they really need to expand on their advertising a bit more, or their word of mouth, or hell, give me a package and I will review it before it comes out, or when it comes out, or shortly after it comes out. I will make sure that that happens if you want me to do that. I am throwing myself out there because of the fact that I've done their advent calendar 3 years in a row, and I have not failed. Okay, maybe I did on 1 year, but it was December 24th. It was touch and go, okay? But I still got the review out a couple days later. Every time we got the reviews out, if you want me to do something like that for you guys, I can. And I will actually, I'm going to be sending them an email in regards to this, because this, good marketing ploy, great thing. Prices could be a little cheaper, but that's not their problem because of the fact that everything is expensive coming in. It's still expensive, not quite their fault, but they don't have a word of mouth, or they don't have a good word of mouth, because I never even saw it on their Facebook page. And I just caught it tonight. I was like, well, where can I find this? I looked on their website, and they've got a small little blurb under the feature product. And it really doesn't say what beer it is or anything else like that, but it's a leap year edition. That's it. Just a small little blurb. And they're expecting to have the word of mouth go out. That right there, it's a tough one, because if you can get the word of mouth out, great. You free advertising, awesome. But have people review it too. Have someone go, hey, I've got these beers, let's review this. And then they can come back in 4 years and say, hey, I've still got this beer. I've cellared it for 4 years. Well, let's try it now and see how it is. Let's go back to see what these reviews were 4 years ago and see what they are today. How is this different from how it was 4 years ago? Totally get that. I've got 2 beers that I am presently cellaring, and you've seen them bring them out a few times, and it's the Old Cellar Dweller. One's 3 years ago, one's last year. So they're both within a range, and I'll be reviewing them soon because I like doing that kind of shit. It's great. It's just really, advertising has to come through. Speaking of expensive beers, I'm going to go on the opposite end of the scale. Tonight on my Facebook page, I actually posted a picture of a beer that was cheap. And it kind of shocked me because it was one of these small bottles like this, a 355 milliliter bottle. However, it was a local beer from Six Corner Brewery. They're actually presently brewing outside of Alberta in Saskatchewan, in Paddock Wood, because they're building their brewery in Airdrie, or not Airdrie, but Okotoks, not the north, it's the south of Alberta, and south of Calgary, I should say. And these guys are brewing out of Saskatchewan, bringing their stuff in, and yet I found this beer, 355 milliliters, an IPA. I was like, hey, it's a single. I've wanted singles, so I picked it up. And as I was talking to the guy at Willow Park Wines and Spirits, Dave the beer guy, yeah, I'm pimping you out again, buddy. He's like, wow, that's a great 10% beer. I went, what? This is 10%? It threw me for a loop. A 10% beer at the price point it was at, which was $3. I was very tempted to go back and buy 6 of these suckers for $18 because it's $3 a piece at 10%. I had it this afternoon, and wow, it is an IPA. It is a damn good IPA, and at 10%, a small bottle gave me a really good buzz. I was really impressed with that. Really enjoyed it too. I mean, again, I'll be doing a full review on it. Took a few pictures. I've got a backlog of reviews that I've got to get online for written. I am just so lazy for writing this shit up. But it's a really good beer. And if you find it in singles, Willow Park Wine and Spirits in Calgary has it. I've probably a few other places. I don't know if it's made it up to Edmonton, like to Sherbrooke or anywhere else like that. But they have it. If they have it there, pick it up. It is a very, very good IPA, and I'm not an IPA fan. And I also managed to upsell. Sorry, Dave. Well, actually, no, he thanked me. And there's a guy looking at IPAs in his store, and I sat down and I talked with him for a bit. I brought Dave over. He shot the shit with him a little bit. And we got talking, and he actually bought a few things, and he bought the Arrowhead So Freaking Hoppy, or I'm So Freaking Hoppy. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got the picture of Frankenstein on it. It's actually a decent beer. I reviewed it. I wasn't really thrilled with it. It tasted a little off to me, but that might have been my bottle. I kind of want to go back and revisit it in a bit. But at the same point in time, it was one of those ones where I was like, oh, all right. And I actually went over to one of the other fridges, found another beer there. That was the same one, and I saw in his basket, he had 3 of them. Went and grabbed it. I was going to put it back on the shelf, and he was still looking around. I looked down at this thing, looked at the shelf. He cleared out the shelf. I went, hey, I got a 4th one here that I found. Do you want it? Hence started the conversation. We got talking about beers, and I kind of helped him buy a couple more beers from the place. And if he's watching, or if he watches later on and you get in trouble with your wife, I'm sorry. It was my fault. You can blame it all on me. Totally understand that. But I love talking beer. I really do. And that's why I like going into places like that, like Willow Park or like craft cellars. You have these people wandering around. They're lost in this beer aisle of just massive amounts of beer and don't know where to start. You sort of look at them and say, well, what do you like? What do you want? And I learn from experiences from them, and they learn from me, which is kind of interesting. I'm not a beer expert. I'm not a beer guru. I'm an amateur. By all means, I'm always an amateur. But it's nice to see that I'm dressed like this, and he takes my words and he goes and has some recommendations. I've had a few good conversations there. I have better conversations there than I do at a grocery store when someone asks me how my day is. Tells you where my toy store is. But yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. I got to try another beer tonight, and it was another 10%. And I'm going to be doing another written, again, backlog. However, this one was recommended, and I watched his review by reviewing Under the Influence, and he reviewed this one, and I saw it. It was the last one on the shelf for $16, and I totally had to pick it up. And it was actually the Ballast Point Victory at Sea. And I've already recycled the bottle because, well, I've drank so much and I don't want to have so much bottles. So, but that one right there, if you like your stouts, damn good beer right there. For the person who said that they'll give it a shot, it's a Six Corners Triple Summit IPA. That's the one that it is right there. And yeah, actually, it's not overly hoppy. It's not, well, you do have the hops, but it doesn't stay with you. You don't have an alcohol burn, which is odd because you should at a 10%. And it's really quite good. I like it. It's one of the ones that I actually would go back and buy again. But for $3 a bottle and 10%, you can't go wrong. You might actually like IPAs just because of the percentage. That, and if you want to get drunk. Now, as well, I've got as you see behind me, I had a little issue with my computer this week. I kind of had it where last week I was sitting back with Brew Games after I did my live podcast or video cast, and it was I had things crashing on me badly. Now we're talking simple games crashing on me. We're talking Counter-Strike. It crashed on me when we're playing a multiplayer game, and I was just getting pissed off. I had this card for 3 years, but I wasn't too sure. I thought I had it for 2. Time flies when you're getting old. And I went and played a little bit, and I went back and played some more, and it kept crashing on me. So I was like, okay, I need a new video card. So I went out and I bought myself a new video card. And let me say, I am happier than a pig in muck. But you thought I was going to say shit? But honestly, it was one of the better purchases I can do. I like my computer. I love my computer equipment. I'm an IT guy. I love tinkering with this kind of shit. For certain periods of time, there's times where I do get really upset and mad and want to throw shit all across the floors. But I wanted a better video card, and I'm kind of happy for it. So I'll be experimenting a little bit, seeing how well it is. I've got a new game coming out, or there's a new game coming out March 8th, and it is Tom Clancy's The Division. And I saw the preview for that, and it made me giddy. It absolutely made me giddy. It made me giddy to the point where I actually want to bring up another point of what I've wanted to do for a while. I want to try and do a Twitch stream. So I actually might be incorporating drinking beer and pretty much drinking beer and playing video games. I wouldn't mind doing that, and I actually kind of want to start on The Division. So I may or may not look at doing a live Twitch stream next week. I'm not making any guarantees because it's going to be one of those ones where I really want to play it because it does look good. The graphics look amazing. just, I was kind of impressed with it. I've been going through my repertoire of games to see if there's anything that can test this graphics card out. And so far, nothing, absolutely nothing can test this graphics card out. I really got to start doing this, so. Right, talking with in the chat here. But I really wouldn't mind trying this out. I'm not too sure. My daughter's been like, well, you should really start your own gaming channel and start that. Possibly, but I don't get a lot of time to play games. And when I do, I like to have my private time of playing games and not do this publicly. But who knows? 42-year-old man playing video games against a 25-year-old youngin, or younger than that, because these young whippersnappers, yeah, I'm calling them whippersnappers, are coming out and kicking people's asses and taking names. You know, whatever. I wouldn't mind doing that. I may actually look at doing something else where I play, for example, my old Call of Duty games and bring up a Twitch stream for that. The only problem is if I do it on a server that I usually play on, I can't swear. I can drink, but if I drink, I start to swear a little bit more. I have to be polite and everything else, because I'm actually one of the guys that actually helps out with that, and I'm kind of sort of like an in-between member right now, where I'm semi-retired. I know it sounds strange, a semi-retired clan member, but I go back there, throw on my tags, and I go on and play for a bit and play with some really good people, and it's a lot of fun playing with them. So I'm probably going to do that. We'll see what happens next week. We'll see what next week brings. From there, I want to do more brewery tours. I do have the Brewsters one that I have to write up. That one's coming up. It was a great, great tour, and I think I mentioned this last week how good it was. I was going to have the coconut porter again tonight, but I saw this small little beast in here, and I thought I'd drink it. It feels like I still got coffee in my mouth. This is a very strong coffee-flavored beer. Just a few odds and ends that I have coming up. I don't have a lot per se. If you guys also want, I do have a subscription area in my webpage if you guys want to keep up with all my written stuff. I'm going to be bringing out my monthly newsletter, and crap, it's the 28th. I got to do that soon. I was going to do it for the month of March and start of the month of March. I've got 2 people on my subscription list so far. You want to join up, go to one of my reviews, and it's usually on the side. If you want to just read one of my reviews, it's on the side saying subscribe. Sign up there. It'll get you everything you need. You'll have everything you want. All the reviews showing up saying this has come up, this has come up. Click here. I still have to work on my whole CAPTCHA thing, because a lot of people are complaining that it doesn't work for them. I've dummied it down. I've made it into numbers. I'm trying to keep it where I'm not getting spammed to death, because I look at my filters, and holy crap, the amount of spam I'm getting that it's catching. Wow. Because I have a site by the name of Booze Reviews, that right there is the booze part. Definite attraction for spam bots, because of the fact that it is one of the biggest names that you can have for spam bots. So I do have to kind of keep that on there, but I've got to try and figure out a way to sort of make it so it's not as bad. So I have got to work on that. But that's all admin stuff. I still have the 100th episode coming up. I haven't done the script for it yet. I'm sorry, guys. That's coming up. I probably will ask for help, give them a general idea of what I want, and maybe see if they can help write up the script. And then we'll go from there. I'm hoping in the next 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I will have it filmed. I will have it all done and everything else. even if I have to drag people's names out of bed or people out of bed, then I'll do it. But yeah, for now, I've got not a heck of a lot. I totally just wanted to say I'm very thankful to LordKat. He's been amazing. I thank him for what he's done, and I understand where he's coming from. If he ever comes back, I want him on the show. I would love to have him live. I would love to sit down, say, hey, what kind of East Coast beer are you drinking? I'm drinking a West Coast beer. Let's meet up. What kind of shit do you want to talk about? Let's just shoot the shit. Whatever. Just talk about whatever. Nice, mean, I don't give a fuck. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention this is going to be full of swearing tonight? I've been drinking. What do you want? I would honestly like to have him on the show. I really would. To the person that sent me, and you probably don't watch this, but whatever, the request for bottle caps, that's coming up real soon. I have almost got a boot full of bottle caps. My glass boot that I got from Big Rock, almost got a boot full. That's going to be coming your way. To reviewing Under the Influence, saw your video on your unboxing. I'm glad everything got there safe. I'm sorry that I packed it up like it was nothing else. I had to because of the fact I don't trust postage or any postal service. I've had shit break on me coming from Victoria, and it pissed me off. Totally pissed me off because it was their anniversary beer, and I was so upset about that. However, I'm glad you got your stuff. It's after midnight, so it's technically your birthday. So reviewing Under the Influence, happy birthday, dude. I hope you have a great one. Enjoy the 2 beers that you got. Get drunk off them. And remember, orange juice, Advil, and rest is your best friend on the next day. So from there, I just like to say thank you guys. I didn't want to make this a really long one. Sort of say, here's what's going on. I got a couple of things, a couple of chat things I want to talk about, but mainly, LordKat, thank you. You're the man. And if we see you on the airwaves again real soon, I'll be listening. Haven't really had a chance to listen to all the other stuff that you did, but as you see, I've kind of been busy myself. 40-hour work weeks suck, and I totally understand that, but it pays the bills. So guys, this is PK saying cheers. Stay frosty, and you might see a review or two come out in the next little bit. Watch for the written, watch for the video. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a good night. Thanks again.